So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated in Minnesota.
It's a precinct 3 burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right?
This hearing went completely off the rails when Congressman Pete Stauber came armed with receipts, photos, and hard questions, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz suddenly had nowhere to hide. You're watching Right Focus. Hit like, subscribe, and stay with us until the end.
Thank you very much, Governor Walz. Thanks for being here today. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I ask you to keep your remarks brief. I got a lot to go through. As you know, I spent 23 years as a law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota. You know that, right? Do you know that, yes or no?
I don't know how many.
It's not a trick question.
I don't know.
I'll answer it for you. 23 years in Duluth.
Thank you for that.
So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated in Minnesota.
It's a precinct 3 burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right? As I watched lawlessness devastate Los Angeles this past week, I was reminded of your failure to protect Minnesota from similar riots. Governor Walz, on May 29th of 2020, during your own press conference, you described your response to the riots during the 2020 Summer of Love as, quote, an abject failure. Governor, I couldn't agree with you more.
That's out of context.
And on May 17th, 2025, you were at the law school, graduating Minnesota Law School, talking to the graduates. And we've talked about this. You called the enforcement of illegal immigrants a modern-day Gestapo. You've been asked 3-4 times if you would rescind that, and you won't. Will you rescind it? This is like the 5th time, yes or no?
Congressman, I was talking to law students about due process, and I said
you
took an oath to due process.
Governor, was there a violent al-Shabaab terrorist who entered our country illegally arrested in Minneapolis last year? Yes, there was. Were there 3 illegal child predators arrested by ICE in St. Paul earlier this year?
I certainly hope so. That's their job.
Yes, there was. Are the officers who arrested the al-Shabaab terrorists or the child predators, are they Nazis or the Gestapo?
The tactics of wearing
They're
masks.
not.
The tactics of wearing masks.
Unidentified. Why did you tell us that they were the Gestapo? Do you believe that any of the violent illegal immigrants I have mentioned have a right to be in this country?
I don't know what their immigration status was.
They're illegal, violent criminals that the ICE took off the streets of Minneapolis.
You did not say, Congressman, what their status was.
Governor, last week, law enforcement officers in the state of Minnesota took 900 pounds of meth off the streets. Do you support that?
We certainly do.
Do you know that ICE assisted in that those arrests and investigations? Do you support the assistance of ICE in that enforcement action? Yes or no?
I can't speak to that because we were not included in the briefing.
You don't know if ICE was part of it? I'm telling you they were.
I don't have that data. I would have to trust you.
Will you apologize to our constituents and law enforcement officers for making them and their families less safe with your incendiary actions?
I'll congratulate them that they helped us work on the largest pension bill for Minnesota law enforcement in 30 years.
Claiming my time. Governor, what weapons did you carry in war?
Congressman, for 24 years, I carried...
No. What weapons did you carry in war?
What did you carry in uniform?
I
You
tell you
know I
what, Governor,
misspoke.
you're
You know I
barking down the
misspoke.
wrong tree, okay?
You know I
You
misspoke.
lied to the Minnesotans. You said that you carried weapons in war.
Mr.
That is
Chairman.
stolen valor. You know what? My wife
Yeah,
served
Mr. Chairman,
24 years in the
reckon-
a little bit of
military,
respect for the
and
witness.
she's an Iraq war veteran.
You know what I mean?
She was
This is
over in the,
hectoring. It's
in,
not-
in the war
not-
zone. That's
On a point
stolen
of-
valor, and I'm so
Point of order,
disgusted with
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
And so are the people that you serve
Point
with.
of order.
Point of order.
That's
Halt,
stolen
halt
valor.
just a minute. State
Stolen
point.
valor.
Mr.
You didn't
Chairman,
carry weapons
that's
in
not questioning
war.
the witness.
Congressman, my 24 years was
That's not-
public
Will
for
you
many, many
apologize
years.
for lying?
Objection.
Will you
No, I'm-
apologize for lying?
Objection.
All right. Hold on. Pause.
That's not questioning a witness. That's not questioning a witness. You think
Point of
so,
order.
huh?
State your point, Mr. Rankimer.
No, you're
State
yelling
your
at
point.
him. You're
There you
hectoring.
go.
You're hectoring. You're hectoring.
All right.
You're hectoring.
State your
Governor,
point.
you didn't carry
That's
weapons
not-
in war, did you?
State your point.
You didn't
Proceed.
carry
You
weapons
got
in war,
24 seconds.
did you?
Congressman, you
You
know I
didn't carry
misspoke.
weapons in war, yes or no?
Thank you.
You lied. Governor, what rank did you retire at?
I
What rank
served,
did you retire at?
Congressman, I served my battalion as the command sergeant
That's
major.
not the
and
question
for
I asked.
pay-
What rank did you retire at?
I retired as a master sergeant in
Okay,
EA.
here's your coin that says you're retired at a command sergeant major. That's
Says
your
I wore
challenge
that.
coin.
It
This
says
is-
I wore the rank.
This is that's right. You didn't retire, did you?
I did
Stolen
retire after
valor.
24 years.
Here is a picture of your coin, your challenge
Jesus
coin.
Christ.
I'm disgusted with you. I'm just.
Mr.
Governor,
Chairman, the
you
time
lie
has
when the
expired.
truth-
Congressman,
you lie
I'm-
when the
I'm
truth
Gentleman's
is
time's
better.
expired.
You called half Trump supporters Nazis and fascists, and you know what? That's why the Minnesota Police and Peace Association did not support you in the last election because
Oh, I
you're
support
missing in
them.
action.
Gentleman's time's expired.
On behalf of the folks from the land of rocks and cows, thank you. Now you go back.
Chair recognizes Ms. Tenney from New York.
Today we're breaking down one of the most explosive exchanges we've seen on Capitol Hill in a long time, and it involves Minnesota Governor Tim Walz getting put under serious pressure by Congressman Pete Stauber. This wasn't some soft political sparring. Stauber came in prepared, direct, and grounded in real experience. He spent over 2 decades in law enforcement in Minnesota, and he made it clear from the start that he wasn't going to let the governor dodge or rewrite history. The exchange centered on the 2020 riots in Minnesota, including the burning of the 3rd Precinct police station. Stauber confronted Walz with visual evidence and forced him to answer a simple question that Democrats often avoid: was this a peaceful protest or a criminal riot? Walz eventually admitted it was criminal behavior, confirming what Americans saw with their own eyes while leadership failed to act. Stauber didn't stop there. He brought up Walz's own past admission that his handling of the riots was an abject failure. That wasn't a Republican talking point. That was Walz's own words. And when confronted with them, the governor tried to wave it away as being taken out of context. But when a police station burns down, there is no context that excuses it. Then came one of the most disturbing parts of the hearing. Walz was pressed on comments where he compared immigration enforcement and ICE tactics to a modern-day Gestapo. Stauber laid out exactly who these officers are arresting: violent criminals, terrorists, and child predators. He asked Walz multiple times to retract or apologize for the comparison. Walz refused. That tells you everything you need to know about how some politicians view law enforcement. They praise the badge when it's convenient and demonize it when it doesn't fit their political narrative. The exchange escalated further when Stauber questioned Walz's claims about his military service. Stauber accused Walz of misrepresenting his record, specifically claims about carrying weapons in war and the rank he retired under. This struck a nerve, especially given Stauber's personal connection to actual combat service through his wife. Whether you agree with every accusation or not, one thing was clear: Stauber wasn't letting vague answers slide. He demanded clarity, specifics, and honesty, and Walz struggled to provide them. This moment wasn't about party politics. It was about truth, accountability, and respect for the people who actually put on the uniform, whether that uniform is military or law enforcement. Too often, politicians lean on emotional language and symbolism while avoiding responsibility for real-world consequences. Pete Stauber showed what oversight is supposed to look like. No deflection. No word games. Just facts, receipts, and direct questions. And that's exactly why moments like this resonate with everyday Americans who are tired of double standards and excuses. If you believe leaders should be held accountable for their words and actions, make sure you support content like this. Like the video, subscribe to Right Focus, and share this with someone who still believes the truth matters.